Good morning and happy April 28th. If you looked at the title of today's episode, it is Superhero Day, National Superhero Day. So we're going to be talking a little bit of superheroes in this episode. And I'm just going to jump right on into it. I was not the biggest superhero person growing up. So yeah, Marvel was really like once the Marvel Cinematic Universe really started to click, that's kind of when I got interested. So I will say that I did love the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, the first two, the third one, no one really talks about that one, but the first two I thought were really good. Uh, but outside of that, I have to say I really never got into a lot of the other I never really got into comics and any of that stuff in my childhood. And then Iron Man came around in '08, and a lot of people got hooked at that point, and then the rest is history as we kind of go forward. Um, when somebody asks me, who is your favorite superhero, it's always a tough one for me. Iron Man is great and really well done in by uh, oh my God, Robert Downey Jr. He's really well acted and a very lovable character for the most part. So I always really liked Iron Man. I really liked Thor too throughout the whole cinematic universe. So yeah, just kind of highlighting a couple of my favorites uh, there, and then obviously leaving the Marvel side and jumping over into the DC side. The Dark Knight, uh, fantastic film. And actually, all three of those films very well done. But the second one, obviously, with the Joker, so well done. Uh, while I am gonna praise the superheroes, one thing that I do not like is the fact that over these last 10 years, 15 years, I mean, you can't even go a little bit further back now. Um, we've just gotten so much of it that it's been so overdone that I've kind of lost my attention on it a little bit. There was so much after 2020, so hard to keep up just with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And then you have like shows like The Boys and stuff like that. And I've given a lot of these things tries, but a lot of them haven't stuck for me recently. So I don't know if I'm just getting older or there's just too much. But yeah, that's kind of my current state with the superhero realm. Now, talking theme parks and superheroes. I've always said this. I've always been greatly disappointed on what they did with the Avengers Campus. I see it as a flyover state. I wish that they would have done more with it. I know they're bringing in more. So, right now it's got a little bit of that incomplete stage, but at this point, I always wish that they would do more. It's really just kind of a meet and greet. Spider-Man ride's okay. Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout was there before, so really can't like grade it with it in a way. But I'm super excited for the two new rides that are coming in. I'm really hoping that elevates that area to a new degree. And then when you go over to Walt Disney World, there's all those contracts that, make it that Walt Disney World can't have certain Marvel characters inside their parks due to the fact that they're owned by Universal. So, you have Guardians of the Galaxy mission or the Cosmic Rewind, which is a fantastic ride, but there's not much of a presence of Avengers outside of that at Walt Disney World, and that's because of that contract that limits them to have them roaming around the park. So, really, superheroes are really only at Disneyland at this point. Um, but we always think of superheroes. We always think of Captain America and Thor and Iron Man, Black Panther. All these different great characters. But one thing I used to always say on my streams is it's important and it's easy to forget about the day to day heroes that we live around: the doctors, the firefighters, policemen, um, you know, teachers. If we want to go real Disney Pacific, cast members. The people that are doing the hard jobs every day to make our lives a little bit better. And they don't get enough appreciation. I see them as superheroes, and I think we all, um, need to take a step back and congratulate them and say, they're doing a hell of a job and they're doing the hard work, and I'm grateful for them. They give me the ability of being an editor, kick out entertainment. Um, I just want always, myself included, to never forget our day-to-day heroes that we live around, that are in so many different, ways of life and so many different fields. Um, it's important not to forget them as day-to-day superheroes that we live around. Comment down below, guys. Who is your favorite superhero for today? That's a wrap. That's all we got. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll see what we're going to talk about.